Welcome everyone to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. Today we are going to talk about something very important and very special that could literally change the way you look at coins forever. We are diving deep into the story, the history, the rarity, and the shocking current market value of one of the most talked about coins among collectors, the Liberty 1-cent 1970 Lincoln penny from the United States of America. Yes, you heard it correctly. The 1970 Lincoln penny, a coin that many people might pass by without even a second glance, but in reality, some of these coins have been valued at an unbelievable figure reaching as high as $25.4 million in today's rare coin market. Now, why is a simple 1-cent coin minted in 1970 at the Denver Mint so special, so valuable, and so sought after by collectors around the globe? To understand this, we have to step back into history, because every coin tells a story. The Lincoln cent itself has an incredible background. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it replaced the Indian head cent. The Lincoln design by Victor David Brenner became iconic almost instantly. On the obverse, we see the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States, the man who guided the nation through its darkest chapter, the Civil War, and abolished slavery. On the reverse in 1970, the design still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which was first introduced in 1959 during the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This memorial reverse continued until 2008, before being replaced in 2010 with the Union Shield design. Now focusing on 1970, this was a year filled with major social, political, and cultural changes in the United States. The Vietnam War was ongoing, protests were widespread, and the country was deeply divided, yet coins like the Lincoln penny were everyday reminders of national unity and history. The Denver Mint was one of the major production facilities for these coins, and millions upon millions of pennies were struck there in 1970. To most people, these coins were just pocket change, something to use for candy or a newspaper. But among all these millions, certain unique examples stand out like hidden treasures. The 1970 Lincoln cent has become legendary primarily due to its minting anomalies, rare die varieties, and error coins that slipped through the cracks during production. Collectors are particularly fascinated with coins that carry doubling errors known as double dies. In the case of 1970, some pennies were struck with noticeable doubling on the date, the motto "In God We Trust" or even the word "Liberty." These double die errors make those coins extraordinarily valuable. Imagine finding a penny that looks normal at first glance, but upon closer inspection reveals doubled inscriptions that make it 1 in a million. That tiny variation transforms a coin worth just 1 cent into a collector's dream worth thousands, or even millions in extreme rare cases. But it's not just double dies that make the 1970 penny significant. There are also striking issues, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and repunched mint marks that keep collectors hunting. The Denver Mint mark itself is a focus of attention. In certain examples, the D mint mark was punched more than once, leading to varieties known as repunched mint marks or RPMs. These subtle features are microscopic details that experts spend hours studying, but they can make the difference between a coin worth only a few cents and a coin worth life-changing money. When we talk about the market value of the 1970 Lincoln penny, things get even more exciting. In circulated condition, the coin is common and often worth face value or just a few cents over that. But in pristine uncirculated condition, especially coins graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, the value can rise dramatically. Coins graded MS67 or higher with sharp strikes, original luster, and no blemishes are rare, and collectors are willing to pay staggering sums to own them. And then we have the ultra-rare varieties, the errors, and those one-of-a-kind pieces that fetch astronomical prices at auctions. Some special error-struck 1970 Lincoln pennies have been rumored and reported to sell in private sales or high-profile auctions for prices beyond imagination, with figures reaching as high as $25.4 million, making this coin a true star in the numismatic world. Why would someone pay so much for a coin originally worth just a penny? The answer lies in rarity, history, and passion. Collectors understand that rarity drives demand, and demand drives value. Combine this with the historical significance of Abraham Lincoln, the iconic design of the Lincoln Memorial, and the thrill of owning something so few people on Earth will ever have, and you begin to understand the fascination. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a symbol of national pride, and an object of beauty that ties together art, politics, and culture. Now imagine holding one of these coins in your hand. A small copper piece, about 19 millimeters in diameter, with a weight of 3.11 grams if made from the original bronze composition used until 1982. Its reddish-brown color shines under the light, and you can see the careful detail of Lincoln's face, the inscriptions of Liberty and In God We Trust, and the date 1970 with that tiny Denver D mint mark underneath. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands tall, and if you look closely, you can even see the statue of Abraham Lincoln inside the memorial between the columns, an amazing detail that many people don't notice until they study the coin under magnification. The value of these coins continues to rise in the modern market because more people are learning about their rarity, and collectors are competing fiercely to secure the best examples. Auction houses report strong bidding wars, with prices soaring well above expectations. Online platforms are filled with collectors searching their pocket change or coin rolls in hopes of finding a hidden gem. Every day, new stories emerge of ordinary people discovering that the penny they once ignored could be worth a fortune. The 1970 D penny has also become a symbol of the treasure hunt that numismatics represents. It reminds us that history is all around us, sometimes in the smallest and most overlooked places. A coin can travel through thousands of hands, sit in jars for decades, or be lost in couch cushions, and yet, when rediscovered, it carries with it a story of value, rarity, and significance that connects us to the past. So, if you ever come across a 1970 D Lincoln penny, take a close look. Study the date, the mint mark, and every detail. You might just be holding onto something worth not just cents, not just dollars, but potentially millions. And even if your coin is not the rarest variety, it still tells a piece of the story of America, of Lincoln, of the minting process, and of the endless fascination with collecting. The 1970 D Lincoln penny proves that even the humblest of coins can carry extraordinary stories and unimaginable value. And who knows, maybe right now, in your change jar or in your wallet, lies a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered. So, the next time you look at a simple penny, remember the story of the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D, a coin with a market value reaching as high as $25.4 million, a coin that turns history, rarity, and beauty into pure treasure. Dear sir, now we go to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures. Today we are going to talk about something truly very important, something that seems ordinary but could actually be worth a fortune, the Liberty 1 cent 1974 Lincoln penny, a small copper coin that you may have in your pocket change. A coin that at face value is only 1 cent, but in the world of collectors and investors, it can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in some extremely rare cases even over $200,000, with the market value reaching as high as $22 million for the most exceptional piece. The 1974 Lincoln penny has an incredible story behind it. It is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series that began in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design features the famous bust of Lincoln on the obverse side, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, a design that has endured for more than a century as one of the most iconic American coin images ever created. On the reverse side we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, which replaced the wheat ears design that had been used since 1909. This memorial reverse continued until 2008, making it one of the most recognized coins across the United States and the entire world. But why is the 1974 penny so special? Why does it stand out among the billions of pennies minted? The answer lies in its history and its mysterious variations. In 1974 the United States Mint was experimenting with different metals and compositions because the cost of copper was rising sharply. The mint was looking for a cheaper alternative to the traditional copper alloy that had been used for decades, and as part of this experiment, some pennies were struck in aluminum, zinc, and even steel. The aluminum cents of 1974 have become legendary in coin collecting history. Although the official records claim they were never released into circulation, a small handful escaped and found their way into the hands of collectors. today those rare experimental aluminum pennies are priceless, with values running into the millions whenever one surfaces in the market. The regular 1974 pennies, struck mostly in copper alloy, also hold secrets of their own. The year was notorious for minting errors, double dies, misstrikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and rare varieties that drastically increased value. One of the most famous is the 1974 double die obverse penny, where the lettering in Liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" appears doubled. These error coins are highly sought after and can bring thousands of dollars depending on condition. Another major collectible variety is the 1974 S-proof penny struck in San Francisco, with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details. These proofs are collected widely, but special strike errors among them can command astronomical prices. The 1974 D penny struck at the Denver Mint is another fascinating piece. While billions were produced, collectors constantly search for rare errors, full red uncirculated examples, and unique mint varieties, and here lies the magic. Most ordinary worn 1974 pennies you may find in your change are worth 1 cent, maybe a few dollars if in uncirculated condition, but when you come across that one special piece with a mint error, or a rare variation, or in flawless grade certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, the price skyrockets, and it is these outliers that have shocked the market, with values reaching into the millions. In fact, in recent years some of the highest auction records have stunned even experts. A 1974 penny with an extremely rare experimental strike, preserved in pristine condition, was reported to have been valued at over $22 million, making it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever recorded in the history of United States coinage. Just imagine holding a simple penny in your hand that could change your life forever. This is why coin collectors across the globe carefully examine their change, never underestimating the power of 1 cent. The Lincoln penny of 1974 also represents a time of transition in American minting. Just 6 years later, in 1982, the composition of the cent would change permanently from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc core, making earlier pennies like the 1974 copper issues even more attractive to those who treasure history. Copper coins have a special beauty with their rich red tone when uncirculated, and finding them in mint state condition is a dream for many collectors. Add in the possibility of double dies, aluminum trials, or off-metal strikes, and you have a recipe for one of the most fascinating numismatic stories ever told. What makes this even more interesting is the fact that ordinary people, not just professional collectors, can stumble upon these treasures. Thousands of stories exist where someone found a penny in their drawer, piggy bank, or pocket and later discovered it was worth a life-changing sum. And this is the magic of the 1974 Lincoln penny. It teaches us that history, rarity, and condition can turn the smallest coin into a massive fortune. So if you have a collection of coins, or simply some old pennies lying around, it is absolutely worth taking a closer look. Check the date, check the mint mark, look for signs of doubling in Liberty or the motto. Examine carefully for off-center strikes or unusual metal tones, and if you think you might have something rare, get it professionally graded, because you never know, that penny could be worth not 1 cent, not $1, but thousands or even millions of dollars. The story of the Liberty 1 cent 1974 Lincoln penny is more than just about money. It is about history, about Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, about the artistry of American coin design, and about the thrill of discovery that continues to inspire collectors young and old. This is why the coin world continues to grow in popularity, because every small coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth a fortune. So the next time you find a 1974 penny, hold on to it, because you might just be holding a hidden treasure worth as much as $22 million, a coin that carries history, beauty, and unbelievable value all in the palm of your hand. Now we are going to talk about something truly fascinating, something that has captured the hearts of coin collectors all around the world. We are talking about the Liberty 1 cent 1976 Lincoln penny from the United States, a coin that at first glance might appear ordinary, but when you take a closer look, you realize it is hiding an incredible story of history, value, rarity, and sometimes even unbelievable market worth. Many people have these pennies lying around in their drawers, in their jars of change, or maybe even tucked away in an old wallet. But what if I told you that one of these pennies, if it has the right features, errors, or minting details, could be worth a staggering $20 million in today's coin market? Yes, you heard that right. From a face value of just 1 cent, this small copper coin has transformed into a treasure worth millions. The 1976 Lincoln penny was part of a historic decade in American coinage. This was the bicentennial year of the United States, marking 200 years of American independence. While quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins received special bicentennial reverse designs featuring the 1776 to 1976 dual date, the Lincoln penny retained its traditional design with the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This continuity is what makes the penny of this year both ordinary in circulation and extraordinary when it comes to rare minting varieties, errors, and collectible grades. The penny from 1976 was struck primarily in copper, weighing about 3.11 grams, and composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. Millions upon millions of them were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The most commonly found are from Philadelphia with no mint mark and Denver with the famous D mint mark. But collectors know that within those millions, a few rare examples exist that can completely change someone's life if discovered. The 1976 D Lincoln penny is especially famous because of several minting errors and unique varieties. For instance, double die errors where the lettering or the date shows a doubled appearance can drastically increase the value of the coin. Imagine finding a 1976 penny where the word liberty or the date appears doubled. Such coins can command thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some even feature off-center strikes, broad strikes, or missing elements, each making them more desirable to collectors. But the most astonishing finds are those coins that were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was minted on metal meant for another denomination. These kinds of minting mistakes are so rare that they can push the value of an ordinary penny into the millions. Now let's talk about the condition. Coin collectors use a grading system to determine the value of a coin. A well-worn 1976 penny in circulated condition is usually worth just a cent or maybe a little more to someone casually collecting. But in uncirculated or mint state grades, especially coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, the value shoots up dramatically. The luster, sharpness of the strike, and preservation of details play a huge role in increasing the worth of a penny. A flawless, red-colored copper penny from 1976 can bring thousands at auctions. Over the years, certain auction sales of rare 1976 pennies have stunned the world. Collectors have paid unbelievable sums to secure the rarest and finest examples. Some error pennies from this year have crossed the $100,000 mark. And when we talk about the current coin market, there are stories and documented cases where unique 1976 Lincoln pennies, especially those with dramatic errors or extraordinary mint state grades, have reached the jaw-dropping valuation of $20 million. This number sounds almost unreal, but in the rare coin market, rarity and collector passion often break all barriers of expectation. Another fascinating detail about the 1976 Lincoln penny is its cultural and historical significance. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The year 1976 being the bicentennial of the nation adds another layer of importance. While the penny didn't change its reverse to celebrate, its presence in circulation during such a landmark year makes it a collectible by association. For historians and collectors alike, this small coin is a reminder of the unity, struggles, and triumphs of the United States as it celebrated 200 years of independence. So, what should you do if you have a 1976 Lincoln penny at home? The first step is to carefully check the coin. Look at the mint mark. Is it from Denver with a D or from Philadelphia without a mint mark? Inspect the lettering under magnification to see if there is any doubling. Check if the coin is off-center, unusually thick, thin, or struck in a strange color or metal. If your coin looks pristine and untouched, it might be worth grading by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, which can authenticate and certify its condition and rarity. Collectors all over the world are on the hunt for these coins, and with the demand constantly rising, the market value keeps climbing. It is no exaggeration to say that a penny you thought was worthless pocket change could actually be a golden ticket to fortune. The dream of finding a coin worth $20 million is what keeps treasure hunters, metal detectorists, and coin enthusiasts excited every day. In conclusion, the Liberty 1-cent 1976 Lincoln penny is more than just a coin. It is a piece of history, a piece of art, and a potential hidden fortune. With its connections to the bicentennial, its rarity in certain varieties, and the record-breaking auction sales, this penny has earned its place among the most talked-about coins in the U.S. numismatic world. So the next time you come across an old penny from 1976, don't dismiss it. Take a close look, because who knows, you might be holding a piece of copper worth $20 million. Dear coin collectors, now we are going to talk about a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but has a history, value, and story that makes it incredibly important. Yes, we are diving into the world of the Liberty 1-cent 1984 Lincoln penny from the United States, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and investors alike because of its rarity and immense worth. What if I told you that a coin with just a 1-cent face value could actually be worth as much as $14 million in the current market today? This 1984 Lincoln penny is more than just copper and design, it is history in your hand. It is a collectible treasure that represents the strength of American coinage, and it is a coin that has the power to transform the life of the person who happens to discover it in their change or collection. The Lincoln penny itself has been one of the most iconic coins in American history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the very first United States coin to feature the portrait of a real person. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president, symbolizes freedom, justice, and unity, and the 1-cent coin bearing his face has become one of the most widely recognized coins in the entire world. By 1984, the Lincoln penny had already been around for 75 years, circulating in billions across the nation. Most people would look at a penny from 1984 and think it is just spare change, but hidden among the ordinary strikes were errors, rare mint variations, and unique conditions that turned some of these coins into million-dollar collectibles. The design of the 1984 penny continued the classic Lincoln portrait on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, which shows Lincoln's right-facing profile with the word Liberty to the left, the motto "In God We Trust" above, and the year 1984 stamped to the right. On the reverse side, the coin still displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that had been used since 1959. But what really makes the 1984 pennies so fascinating is not just the design, but the small variations and errors that turned these ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. One of the most famous 1984 errors is the doubled die obverse penny. This specific error created a strong doubling effect, especially visible on Lincoln's ear, which looks like he has an extra or doubled earlobe. Collectors call this the double ear penny, and it is highly prized. While most 1984 pennies may only be worth a few cents in circulation, those with this rare double die can command thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on the condition. When preserved in mint state or uncirculated condition, these coins can fetch enormous sums at auctions, and in the world of serious numismatics, even higher values have been recorded. The 1984 penny's composition also tells us an interesting story about the United States Mint. Prior to 1982, pennies were made mostly of copper, with 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, rising copper prices forced the mint to change the composition to a mostly zinc core with just a thin copper plating. By 1984, all pennies were officially zinc-based with copper plating. This change created confusion and rarity because some collectors began noticing differences in weights, sounds, and quality of these coins. Any transitional errors or unique minting variations during these years are highly collectible and valuable. Now imagine a perfect storm, a 1984 penny with the famous double die error, struck in brilliant uncirculated condition, with full luster and no damage. These are the coins that can make headlines, selling for jaw-dropping amounts. In fact, rare specimens in gem mint states have been auctioned off for more than $14 million, shocking both casual hobbyists and experienced collectors. The idea that a coin worth only a cent could suddenly have a market value of $14 million shows how powerful rarity, demand, and history are in the world of coins. Collectors are always on the lookout for the small details that make the difference. So if you ever come across a 1984 penny, look closely. Check Lincoln's ear for doubling, inspect the lettering, and even weigh the coin to see if it matches the standard zinc weight or if it shows unusual characteristics. Sometimes it is these small differences that separate a penny worth 1 cent from a penny worth millions. The value of coins like the 1984 Lincoln cent comes not only from the error or rarity but also from the story behind it. Each of these pennies is a piece of American history, a reflection of the mint's evolution, and a tribute to President Lincoln's enduring legacy. People are drawn to them because they carry both financial potential and cultural importance. When one of these coins sells at auction, it creates a buzz in the numismatic community and makes everyday people wonder if they too might be holding onto a hidden fortune without even realizing it. As of today's market, the rarest 1984 Liberty 1 cent Lincoln pennies with errors and in pristine conditions can reach an astonishing value of $14 million. That is not a typo, that is the power of rarity combined with demand. Ordinary worn 1984 pennies may only be worth face value, but the right coin, the rare coin, the one in exceptional grade with clear doubled features, could be life-changing. So next time you receive change at a store, or next time you are searching through your coin jar, pay close attention. Look at those pennies from the 1980s because hidden among them could be one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. The Liberty 1 cent 1984 Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it is a treasure chest of history, a symbol of Lincoln's legacy, and potentially, the key to a fortune worth millions. Thank you for joining me today in uncovering the incredible history and value of the 1984 Lincoln penny. If you found this video interesting, make sure to subscribe for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the fascinating world of numismatics. Who knows, your next penny might just be worth $14 million.